Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 52. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to see you on my YouTube channel. As always, we're gonna have a look at the markets, how it developed, what opportunities do we have, and what can we expect for the upcoming week. So it's been a pretty massive week, just pure bullishness or bearishness respectively. And a mistake that I identified within myself and within the community as well is that when the market is extended, like this week has been quite extended, and we always look for those retracements, we always look for a reversal. Yet the market is purely bullish or bearish, and instead of going for the reversal, we can just buy the markets and go with the trend and capitalize on it. So quite some money was lost trying to catch reversals, and I'm gonna give you a little tip on how to approach this one. And yeah, so I didn't take any trades this week. I was too busy with assignments and some stupid stuff to do, but I will, as always, make this session as valuable as possible. So if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I provide weekly analysis, educational content as well, so consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell in order not to miss the content that is upcoming. And before we start, I just want to say that this video is sponsored by Crypto Rocket. It's an amazing broker, especially for crypto. The spread is amazing, the withdrawals are fast, the commissions are low, so consider checking it out. The link will be down in the description, and if you already did, let's see what do we have for the week ahead. Starting from the DXY weekly time frame, let's see what do we have here. So the previous week we had a strong bearish candle to the downside, and I believe we expected continuations, and here is our continuation. However, what is wrong is that we didn't have any pullback to the upside. The market just opened and straight started to dip to the downside. So this week again, another bearish candle to the downside. Can we have a pullback? Well, we don't know, because we haven't had pullback in, you can see, in quite some days. And I believe we expected a pullback into this kind of area right here. Broken support, turned resistance, a little pullback into the EMA. However, the market just decided to just to go to the downside without even pulling back just for a little. And yeah, so it was completely bearish. We had NFP the last day when the market tried to push up, but again failed, and it has been consolidating right here. So if we just have a look at the price action from this week, 1st of June, the market here, we had just a little gap, the market pushes down, pulls back, and then we just start to create lower highs and lower lows. Nothing much, because we try to look for a better pullback, for a clear pullback. However, if you just zoom in on the market, it's creating lower highs and lower lows. Right here we had a little double top as well. All the people thought that the market is gonna reverse. It's finding the bottom right here. We push up, but again, spot this, it's failing to break above the last lower high, and we have one rejection, two rejection, massive push to the downside, breaking below the low. So we continue looking for sales. This could have been a sell right here, but it is really low, and we have NFP on Friday, and the market ended up pushing up, and right now it is staying right here. So what are my expectations for the DXY, guys? I really don't know. I would love to see a daily pullback, just a little bit, at least 38.2 of this massive push right here, which will take place just right here. So from hourly perspective, again, I will try to see how the structure forms. So before going long on the dollar and before changing my bias, I want to see how the market is breaking above previous structure and creating new higher highs and higher lows. Right now we have a first evidence, which is not major, because right here when the market pushed, it tried to create a lower high. You can see 1, 2, 3 wicks, strong push to the downside to create a lower low, but immediately went back to retest that area, and actually at the end of the day it broke above. So what I want to see first is for the market to either pull back into this area or to pull back into this area to create a double bottom or a higher low, to find support around this area, and then I want to see the bullishness. If we break above this structure right here, then I will consider the market to be reversing, and then we can start looking for a little bit of a bullishness on the dollar and bearishness on the euro, because they are bound to pull back. I don't believe that the market can just flush to the downside for 3 weeks without pulling back. So we can expect the pullback. However, first of all, let's wait for a broken structure, and this is my setup on the DXY. I want to see first a high low, then an invalidation of structure, and then after, on the retest of the structure of a new higher low, then I will be looking for longs. So let's see what happens. Euro USD weekly time frame, look at that as well. The market just opened, created a little wick to the downside and ended up very bullish, entering into a supply area just right here, which will be maybe better illustrated on the 4-hourly time frame. And on the daily we have 1.14 that I just want to mark to see if this is a level. Well, yeah, so basically this is a supply area. Since price stopped right there, created a massive downtrend, and since then the market has been consolidating in this triangular formation right here. And if we drop just a little trend line, we can see how the market broke out, retested, and went straight into the highs, creating just massive impulsive move to the upside without any single bearish candle on the way up, except from the last day. So for our perspective, you can see again very similar. We tried to look for longs right here, right here, right here, but the market is just pushing up, creating a higher high, and then after the higher high, it immediately creates a higher high. No pullback to the downside to test broken structure, for example, right here. Or when we create this one, we pull back just for one candle, and the next candle, boom, immediately a higher high. Right here, this was a good opportunity. Why? Because we had this higher low, the market created a higher high, and we had this corrective pattern right here. If I go to the hourly time frame, you will see how the market slowly but surely was pulling back to the downside. And if I go to the 15 minutes right now, there was a very quick break and a retest, but this was news. This was the interest rate decision. I think we were looking for that trade. Oops, because it was a broken structure right here, this overall structural move, and we have a strong break and a retest at the EMA, but we didn't take the trade because it was just, we don't know what to expect after such massive movements. It's news, so we better avoid it. And the market ended up with a massive higher high right here, currently pulling back for a higher low, which looks pretty nice. So if we look for buys on the DXY, which means that we look for sells on Euro USD. However, the market is purely bullish for now. What I want to see, well, just looking at this price action, this looks like the perfect buy scenario. What I will do is I will just go to the hourly time frame, mark my hourly price action right here, the hourly structure, and then I go to the 15-minute time frame, and I will wait for a strong impulse to the upside to show me that there are buyers sitting in right here, a break of trend line, a break of structure, a retest, and then I will be taking longs. However, if we have that bullish bias on the DXY, so we have to expect that the dollar will create a daily pullback as well. So what we have to do, I believe that the market will find some support right here. We'll try to push up, but the biggest key that you have to look right here is the market failing to break above structure. It will either create a double top or it will create a lower high. I want to see some rejections form around this area, and then if the market starts to show me some sellers, some selling pressure in my formations on the 15 minutes and so forth, then I can start looking for sales. But the highest probability trade will be a break of the 4-hourly structure, a quick retest to the upside, and then a continuation to the downside. First, you will see the formations form on the hourly time frame, because the hourly time frame will illustrate first, and even the 15-minute. But I will not look for a reversal on the 15-minute. I first want to see the hourly time frame reverse. Why? Because if you have a look for a reversal right here, price never broke higher lows. If you have a reversal right here, price never broke higher low. Oops, this is the fib, higher low. Higher low, price never broke below, so there is no it makes no sense to look for shorts. So first of all, again, as I said, looking for the reversal, lower high formation, failure to break of structure, retest, and then we can go short. So let's see if that happens. We have to see the DXY push up first as well. Euro yen weekly time frame, massive move, breaking above those weekly highs right here. Extremely bullish price action. So again, no pullback at all, just a little wick. And if I go to the daily time frame to have a look what is happening, price has been trending up for quite some time, and as you can see, the last 4 days we just have massive push. Trying to get those little pullbacks right here is hard. Some people can do it, but actually when you see price that extended, your first thoughts are, okay, this is gonna pull back. However, it just keeps climbing. You can see higher high, higher low right here on 1st of June, massive push to the upside. And when price is up here, and when you see this, you say, okay, the market has to pull back. We have to come back to a Fibonacci level. But no, the market just continues to climb, and it never broke below higher lows right here. As you can see, it just keeps creating higher lows, pushing up, and up. So what do I expect for the upcoming week? Well, from the daily time frame, we can say that we need to have a pullback. we need to pull back maybe into those major areas right here that were broken, maybe into this area as well, but we just need a pullback. The 4-hourly time frame is starting to show us some signs of weakness right here. However, I just want to remain bullish. Until I see a structure change on the 4-hourly, I will remain bullish. What I mean by a structure change, you already know it, a price to push down to create a higher low, then to try to create a new higher high, but to fail, and either create a lower high or a double top, and then I would either take the short right here, or I will either wait for a break and a retest of the higher low. So this is the setup. Keep in mind that we are still massively bullish. We have our Fibonacci level. The market can pull back into the Fib level to retest and just to continue to climb. However, from daily time frame, we can expect a bigger pullback, as I said. So let's wait for it. But actually nothing to cover on this one, except that the market broke above the higher high. Currently, it's creating a new higher high. We can expect a higher low into a Fibonacci level. And if we get it there, we can go to the hourly time frame and to the 15-minute to spot our formations. And we can just continue going with the trend until we see a structural change. Aussie USD weekly time frame. Let's cover those pairs quickly because they are all the same. So we expected shorts right here, but the market just continued to climb to the upside, and we have a very strong weekly candle to the upside. Dropping down to the daily time frame, we see that on the daily, price never broke higher lows. We have here a little double bottom. Price broke above the higher highs, created a new higher high, pulled back again for a higher low, and since then we've been trending up. The market opened right here on the 1st of June and just straight pushed into the highs. On Tuesday, straight pushed again, and then we had some consolidation at the top. Dropping down to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that we don't have clear pullbacks. This is why we don't take trades. 1st of June, straight push to the upside. What do we expect after a push? We expect a pullback into broken structure, but the market just creates one candle right here, higher high. Again, after a higher high, we expect a pullback, but the market just creates two candles right here and a massive higher high again. And then we pull back potentially right here. This looks like a better pullback. We could have had a trade, but even if we entered, the market would have never hit TP if our stop loss wasn't very tight. What I expect for the next week? Well, I would just mark like I can see this area right here as my major higher low. I see that the market is starting to wick around this kind of area right here, and 0.70 key area in the market. So I would just mark it out. What I want to see is the market to start failing to break above right here potentially, then to create a strong bearish candle that is going to break this newly created structure right here. Then I will wait for a little retest. A little retest on the 15-minute and on the hourly time frame, and then I can write it down for a short opportunity, for a very short term short opportunity, because we expect a pullback. How big this pullback will be, we don't know. What we can see is that the pullbacks don't take too long, but I can see that the market is starting to slow down. So I can say that we will be looking for shorts if I have some bearish price action. I want to see a higher low getting broken. Hourly time frame, hourly structure getting broken as well. This one looks very fine. Break, retest, continuation down into this higher low. And if this higher low gets broken, then I believe we are going to have some downwards exposure. So let's be patient and let's wait for those pullbacks. And if we don't have them, just keep with the trend, guys. Aussie JPY, massive candle to the upside. We can see that the yen is very weak and the Aussie is quite strong. So we are encountering right now a very strong weekly area, I would say. If I just drop it like this, what is the level? Well, around 77 and 76,500. This is the level that we are looking at right now, and price is currently tapping into it. So I don't trade like this. I don't look at support and resistance and supply demand. I just follow structure. So as you can see, the market has been creating higher highs and higher lows. Right now it has created a massive higher high, and let's say it's entering into this area, but we know that this price action has to pull back at some time. So what I will do when I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, I will try to identify my last higher low. So I can see, like, it's not clearly visible, but we have a double top right here and a higher high. Double top, failure to break above. However, when we pull back, we don't break below the higher low. So we're still technically bullish and we can take a long right here. Then we break above and we come for a very little retest that could be our higher low. The EMA is sitting right here. So what I need to see for sales is a strong break and close below this kind of level right here. This little trend line to get broken and then potentially retest it to the upside. Something like a head and shoulders could form around this area, and then I will be looking for shorts. This is my only setup that I will be looking at. As for longs, I really don't want to be taking longs in this overextended market. But if the market pulls back into this area, starts to create some rejections, gives me the signals on the 15-minute, then I have to take the long because my rules say so. So let's wait for this break. Let's wait for the retest and then potentially continuation down. It will be very interesting to see this head and shoulders develop. NZDs as well, just massive weekly candle to the upside with no pullback on the open. The market just opened and straight started to push to the upside. The daily structure is perfectly bullish. So we had right here a little bit of a break, but then we came back to retest all the way up into the highs right here, but then we broke and retested. So on the market open, we actually were having that retest, and the market has already been creating a few candles right here that were acting as a higher low. And then on market open, the market just pushed up. And then it's been 5 days of massive bullishness. It's just ridiculous. When we got to the 4-hourly time frame again, after a high, we expect a pullback here. We almost had a pullback. We have 2 wicks to the downside, so potential trading opportunity if you get tight and if you see your entry. Massive impulsive move to the upside. 1 candle pullback. Actually, right here, price stalled for 8 hours, so we can have a trade right here. Higher high, retest, another higher low right here, higher high, and right now what we can expect is another pullback. So again, we know that on most of the pairs we're looking for daily pullbacks. However, we first have to see 4-hourly structure get broken. Where is the last 4-hourly structure right here? Well, it's too far away. I consider this to be the last structure. So what I need to see is the market to pull back right here to create a higher low. So it's gonna react from here because the EMA is here, because structure is here, and because people will be looking still for longs. However, when the market tries to push up, I want to see it fail and stop somewhere around here, and this is where I will potentially take my trading opportunity if I start to see the rejection candles. And then 15-minute structure broken, I will trade this into the lows right here, and then if those lows get broken, then I will just go to the daily time frame. I will plot my FIP and I will say, okay, so where does the leg start though? Like, okay, I will take this one. And if this one gets broken, actually it will be reaching the 38.2, but we can target the 50%, 61.8% pocket. So let's see. This is my setup for NZD USD. I just want to see a push to the downside, a pullback for a lower high failure to break above, and then potentially breaking a retest of this higher low. NZD JPY is even stronger. Just look at that push straight into supply area, I would say right here, but we don't look too much at it, but we can expect some sort of a reaction, which is good. So again, daily time frame, we had a big consolidation right here. The market broke, retested, broke above to create a higher high and stayed for a little bit right here. And on market open, the market just started to push to the upside without providing any clear pullback. So the market opened right here, 1st of June push. This was the pullback, strong push. This is your pullback right here, push again, pullback, and ending up the week with a massive push. So what can I say about this market, guys? Well, basically nothing. It's just extremely extended. It's just at the highs right here. Let's hope that demand area on the left, supply will give us some rejections. But so far, if I just have to follow the structure, I just have to follow the trend, and what I will be waiting for is for the market to give me a pullback to create a higher low, and then I will continue looking for buys. However, again, that situation might occur where the market might try to push, fail to break above, form a double top or a lower high, and then I can be looking for shorts targeting the higher low, and if the higher low gets broken, then we can look for a retest and further continuations down. A new weekly cycle will open, so I really hope that some people will start selling, some people will start taking profits after this massive push so we can capitalize on a few short opportunities. But again, guys, make sure to have the confluences in order to take a short. Wait for a double top, wait for a lower high, wait for a break of structure on the hourly time frame. We never had it. And then try to take the trade. So let's see what happens. Just keep with the flow and follow the structure. USD JPY weekly time frame, same situation right here. Strong bullish candle to the upside. And remember, Monday was a little bit indecisive, but we don't trade Mondays. And on Tuesday, so here is Monday, 1st of June, we had this ugly price action right here. A lot of wicks. We didn't know what is happening, but overall, after this push to the upside and breaking above the last lower high, we pulled back for a higher low right here, and we tried to create a high, but we started to consolidate. But we see that price actually never broke below structure to create bearish one, right? 4-hourly time frame, when we dropped right here, we had a fake out to the downside. Price immediately went back into the consolidation, tried to push down again to break, but failed. pushed up to create this lower high potentially, but when the market tried to push down, it failed again. So basically it started to create some bullish structure right here. And then on Tuesday, I believe Tuesday is right here. Yeah, we thought that there was gonna be some shorts, but in order to take shorts, we need the invalidation of a bullish market. And then the market just massively pushed to the upside. And after that, like, we just had this choppy climb to the upside. If you want to take a trade, you have to go to the hourly time frame, but it's too confusing because sometimes you see, okay, well, we have a break of hourly structure right here and a retest. And this looks like the perfect short opportunity. If I go to the 15-minute break, retest right here, you want to take a short, but then the market breaks above, pulls back for a higher low and continues to trade up. So yeah, in order to take reversals, like, it's not mandatory that you know what you're doing. You just have to execute at the end of the day. However, just make sure that you go break even as soon as possible, because in such markets, you never know how long that retracement will take. Where the retracement will take place. Is it at the 50%, FIB 61, 38.2, or even the 20? Because recently there is a Fibonacci level on the 20% and we're not reaching even it, right? So we just have to follow structure. We have to wait for those break of the levels and then take the reversal. So as for the price action right now, I can see that the market has broken above the higher high. It's just currently creating a new higher high. What I need to see is the market to pull back in this area to create a higher low, and then I'm gonna take a long position. The daily time frame is extended, so we can expect the market to pull back. But is it gonna pull back? We don't know. How are we going to know? Well, we will have potentially an invalidation of this higher high right here, and potentially the market can come back to create some sort of a head and shoulders. You see left shoulder, head, right shoulder, then we can take a short position, and of course the hourly time frame has to be bearish already. Trend lines have to be broken, structure has to be broken, and everything has to be pointing down in order to take a short. So overall, I'm bullish on this market. If I have a pullback and a higher low, I will be looking for longs, but I will just let Monday decide where price wants to go, and then I will adapt to it. USD CAD weekly time frame, again, massive selling pressure right here. Finally filled this gap since quite some weeks actually. Daily time frame, what we see right here is that the market broke below this kind of consolidation right here, and this happens 26th of May, and the week ended up just right here creating that little pullback. So I'm not sure what we expected, but the market was already creating this lower high right here. And if I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, we see this consolidation. So yeah, I think we were looking for pullbacks again into this kind of structure to create a lower high, to create a fib level. But what we had is a little bit of manipulation to the upside. Have a look at this wick. So all the people that went short had their stop losses above this wick, where the price manipulates into, of course, above that wick. Manipulation, break back below, and you can take a trade right there, or your second trade is after the break and the retest of the structure. This happened very fast on the hourly time frame. Right here, you see price manipulated, pushed down, created a lower high, created a lower low, and since this point we have a broken structure. And after this, we can start looking for sales. First sell right here on the pullback, second sell right here on the second pullback, and since then the market dropped to the downside and started to consolidate. Yeah, well, basically not a nice trade to be taken right there. We expected longs. However, this was Friday, I said, well, with everything that is happening in the market, I will not be surprised if this market just dumps to the downside right now, and it actually dumped. So what can we expect on this market, guys? Well, if we just follow structure, price has broken below the lower lows right here. It's currently creating a new lower low. What I can expect is the market to pull back to create a lower high, and then I will just continue selling. So we can drop a fib for confluence if you want to wait for the 50%, 61.8, which is aligning with this area, and then we can target the lows. As for targets, like we are currently reaching this kind of a supportive level right here, so we can have a look at this daily time frame. It's extended, so we can still expect a little daily pullback, but we are gonna see it first on the 4-hourly and on the hourly if the structure is going to change and if we're really going to have that daily pullback. As for now, this is my analysis. Let's see what Monday does. If we start pushing strongly to the upside, breaking above structure and breaking above that lower low, then we can potentially look for retest and continuations up. But so far, I'm looking for shorts. USD Swiss franc, I just dumped this pair from my watch list. As you can see in the weekly time frame, just little indecision, pin bar, or doji, whatever you like to call it. Daily time frame, the market opened 1st of June right here with 2 wicks to the downside. It actually pulled back to create a lower high, tried to push down but failed, and right now we are up again right here. As from the 4-hourly time frame, it was just unclear what the market was doing. So the market opened right here, 1st of June. It was consolidating. It tried to push down, failed, tried to push up again, failed. So basically we had a little bit of a consolidation box right here. When the market broke to the downside, we should have waited for a retest, but the retest never happened and the market is actually up there again. So how am I going to analyze this market, guys? Well, I will just take my most recent highs, which is right here. This is a resistance level that I will be looking at, and I just want to see how the market is going to react to it. So depending on the DXY situation and the Euro USD, this reacts to it, but we can see that the Swiss franc has been quite some choppy. So yeah, what I want to see is the market to pull back to the downside for a higher low potentially, then take a long, because I see that overall the market is up. After this fake out, we pushed higher, we can pull back and then we can target to break the highs to the upside. However, if the market pulls down and then comes back in right here to starts to reject, then I will have a bullish structure to break. And this, if the structure breaks to the downside on the hourly time frame, then I will be looking for a little pullback, lower high, and then I will be taking sales. So I hope you understand the situation. It all depends on how the market reacts from this resistance level. I would expect some reaction right now, a higher low right here. Then if we take a long position, we have to see if this level is gonna get broken. And the highest probability, guys, will be a break and a retest of this level, like to be honest. Or if the market decides to drop down to the downside, then we can have a lower high right here and the market can continue up. So what I would advise you to do is just let Monday decide what price wants to do, then reanalyze your structure on Tuesday, and then let's see what do we have. As for now, it's completely uncertain. Let's have a quick look at the GBPs because they have exactly the same situation. The market opens, no pullback to the downside, just straight push up, breaking above those wicks right here, which is a pretty bullish sign from the weekly time frame. Daily time frame, we can see that the market opened just right here, 1st of June, straight massive bullish engulf and no pullbacks to the downside. So from daily time frame, again, we can expect that daily pullback. However, first we have to see the full hourly shift. What we have right here, this was the best opportunity just right here because we had a push, we had a pullback. This is a nicer pullback, but right here what we see, guys, and we might get tricked into this, is a double top, a break, and a retest. And if I go to the hourly time frame, what we see, yeah, this consolidation, the market breaks, first opportunity, lower low, the market strongly, yeah, this is news. This is news. Those strong candles, up down, yeah, I believe this is news. And I believe actually that I was looking for a long opportunity, but it was just right here. And it was on NFP. So what I looked at, because I started to look on the hourly time frame, is this Fibonacci level, beautiful 61.8% Fibonacci. And then what I had is, let me have a clear look. I had a little structure right here that was broken, something like this. And I entered on this candle, but I didn't enter because it's Friday. I just paper traded it. My stop loss was below right here. It was 21 pips. And at the end of the day, it hit my take profit of, I believe I was targeting the 27 extensions, something like this. This was NFP. The market straight dipped into right here. So it depends if I went break even, but if I didn't, it was just a retest. And although the NFP had was bullish for the dollar, then the market just continued to push to the upside because all the people started to buy the dollar, but the dollar just dumped again. As for for this pair, we have a higher high with a huge wick on top. Right now the market is starting to reverse. My major area is just right here with all of those wicks. So what I will be expecting the market to do is to pull back around this area to create a higher low, and then to continue for a higher high. We know that we can expect a daily pullback, so let's monitor for it. The same scenario applies, the market creating a higher low, then failing to break above, creating a double top, then starting to shift structure on the hourly, and on the 15 minutes we can take a short from the top. We take profit, the support level, and then if the supportive level breaks, we can take a retest of the supportive level, and then we have some downside potential. Again, a new weekly cycle opens, so I really hope there will be some profit taking and some people will start going short in order to have that daily pullback and to have some short opportunities. But over the longer term, we can see that the pound is strong, so don't go too far with the shorts. Make sure to take your profits more quicker. So GJ, we have a strong impulsive move to the upside, breaking above weekly structure. We can expect a retest of that weekly structure. It looks perfectly fine. Daily time frame, again, we have that supportive level. The market opened just right here, straight push high, straight push into the high, starting to slow down. We expected a pullback right here. The market just created a wick to the downside, and right now we ended up extremely bullish. Full hourly time frame, you can see how perfect this opportunity was into the EMA. We actually had our first pullback, although the market started to chop a little bit right here, but we are looking for momentum trades to the upside, so the market pulled back. And if I go to the hourly time frame to see what is up right here, this was news again. Yeah, this was news. I remember this one, the manipulation to the downside first, and then we had the break. And after the break, like the market started to create this kind of level right here, tap, tap, tap. So if you enter right here, this is your opportunity. And again, on Friday, we had a beautiful setup right here as well. I was looking at it. This Fibonacci pocket right here, strong impulse move to the upside, pullback, and then we fulfilled the 27 and the 62% extension. As for right now, again, similar to GU, I will be waiting for a pullback, high or low, in order to continue to trend to the upside. I have my last high that has to be retested. I hope so. And then I will continue looking for longs. If I have a shift of structure, then I will immediately change my bias. From the daily time frame, we expect a pullback to the downside. So let's just keep with the flow and let's see what happens. If I just have a quick look at GBP/AUD, a pair that I don't trade, actually my analysis from the previous week still stays. I have this lower high formation right here. We have the consolidation. When the market opens, we straight dip below. We have a retest, continuation to the downside. Lower high formation for a potential short opportunity. The market tries to push down, but it has been failing to break to the downside for some time. And actually we have a little push, but you see the GBP is very strong and the AUD is very strong, which means that GBP/AUD will consolidate, and this is actually what happens. So what I need in this market, guys, is a strong break above those two levels. This is my resistance, structural lower high. This is my support, structural lower low. I want to see either a break and a retest to the upside or a break and a retest to the downside. And having a quick look at Euro GBP to see what might happen. This was, what is this? Was I looking for a trade right here? I'm not sure. Yeah, so we were looking for a long as a reversal trade because we started to see that the market was starting to break below, and we had that massive impulsive move to the downside. We wanted to see the price come into this area, into the 50 and the 61.8% pocket. So we had a break. Did we have a retest? No, we didn't have a retest. You see, we were looking for a trade just right here, but we didn't have a retest. And the market just continued to push to the upside, and right now we're back down again. So this is a big consolidation, guys. If I drop to the daily time frame, maybe in the weekly time frame, yeah, the weekly is not very clear, but the daily should be clear. We see that the market is failing to break above, failing to break below, so we have to see what is actually going to happen. Nothing much of a structure. We just have strong push down, strong push up, strong push down. Maybe we'll have a strong push up right now. What I will mark is this very strong supportive level. And if I have a break and a retest of the supportive level, then we might go short. But if the market starts to consolidate around this area, just like it did here, then we might start looking for longs. So make sure to wait for a little bit of price action to develop around here, a little bit of new structure, and then we can start looking for trades. As for now, I think this is a consolidation and I will just ignore this pair if you're not trading like a very intraday 15-minute hourly time frame. So yeah, this is the GBPs, guys. Let's see if we will have those daily pullbacks on the GBPs, and let's see if the trend is actually going to continue. Let's have a look at gold's weekly time frame. So we see that the market was starting to fail to break above around this area right here. Let me just drop a little rectangle, and we see that this week we had a strong bearish candle to the downside, currently tapping the EMA, so we might have some bullishness. However, we can see on the daily that there was that consolidation box right here, and we had a break and a little pullback, a little retest of this area and into the EMA as well. So there was a nice short opportunity on gold. And if I drop to the forward time frame, you will see how this bullish structure was violated. We had a break to the downside, we had a pullback, lower high just right here, massive push to the downside, and actually this was the only beautiful pullback that we had into the 61.8%. This wick right here was pretty ugly, but when you see such a wick, it usually will get filled, and it actually get filled at the end of the day. Hourly time frame, to identify where the setup was, we have bullish structure into the highs, then we have a break of the structure, a little retest into this little one that is seen on the 15-minute time frame. So yeah, multiple opportunities right here. We have a push, we have a consolidation, break of the consolidation, first retest, second retest, third retest. So where do you enter? It all depends on you. You can either wait for a break of this because we had a break and a retest, break and a retest again, plenty of opportunities to enter gold, and at the end of the day, it just flushed massively down. So what I expect on it, you can see how it moves. It pushes down, correction, pushes down, correction, pushes down. I want to see a correction again. I want to see the market pull back into a Fibonacci level from swing high to swing low, 50%, 61.8% pockets into this level right here potentially, or even a little bit higher. From the hourly time frame, the market is already starting to pull back, so it looks pretty nice. So yeah, let's see what happens if I just check for some strong supportive level on the daily time frame. Yes, we have them. Price is currently tapping into them. I'm not a master of gold. I don't know which levels actually work nice, but I can see that there is quite some support sitting right here. So a pullback will be much appreciated for me to have a lower high, and then we can continue to trade to the downside. So let's see. Gold is a nice trade. Let's wait for that pullback. Oops. For that pullback right here into that pocket. Again, see that the market is starting to slow down. See that the 15-minute and the hourly time frame are starting to break, and then just nail a nice short. And having a quick look at the indices, US 30 almost recovered into the highs right here. So we expected shorts from right here because it looks like a lower high, but we can see that the economy is actually starting to look pretty good. And with the bullish NFP release, the market just strongly pushed to the upside the last day. We can see that overall, we have bullish structure. We have broken above the highs right here. We are retesting the highs, and this week was extremely bullish as well. 4-hourly time frame, strong push to the upside, pull back, a little bit of a consolidation here. We might have a break and a retest just right here with this little wick, continuation up, little pullback. Didn't pull back into the previous broken structure, but it was just little. And you can see on Friday and on the end of Thursday, we just massively pushed to the upside. So what can we expect on this one? Well, I would expect a little pullback. It depends again on how the economy is doing, but we can see that the stocks are starting to climb. So I would not advise you to go short on this one. Just look for the pullbacks and potentially try to get a breakout on the hourly time frame. Just spot where the market is starting to fail to break, something like this. And when it breaks, it will retest or it will either just break. Again, similar situation right here. We have this, when the market breaks, it just explodes. So for example, you can mark this level right here. If it breaks, then we continue to the upside. So this is your 30. NAS 100 already reached the highs, and it's even breaking above the highs. Oh, wow. So yeah, extremely bullish price action. The daily is very high. It's really trending up. Hard to identify any setups. Pullback right here. So yeah, how I would analyze this chart just right now is that the market has broken above this high. We can expect a little pullback, and again, having the same strategy with those ones, we can wait for the breakouts. You see strong breakout, the market continues to push up. I would expect a little bit of a pullback, and if the market starts to consolidate right here to create some hourly structure, then I can wait for the breakout again, and then again this one. So waiting for a little bit of a pullback right here to create a higher low, and then we can look for longs on the indices. So that's for today, guys. I tried to keep it short and simple because there was really nothing to discuss. So yeah, I really hope the next week is gonna be nicer. We're gonna have some nice pullbacks, so we can have some nice trades. So I really hope you appreciate the video, guys. You found it valuable. Make sure to subscribe and like the video. It means a lot to me. Comment below if you liked it. Make sure to check my trusted signal provider as well, Trading and Cold Trading. Link will be down in the description. And yeah, thank you for staying up until now. I really appreciate it, guys, and see you on my next video.